Any news?
How's Lulu? How's my daughter? What happened?
What happened?
You're running out of time. You're dead, Jimmy.
Time of death, 5:48.
Wow, Frank, really classy move. Killing off a legacy actor just because you're mad at her? That's top-tier storytelling right there. Sam was wrapped up in too many storylines to just be tossed out like that. A simple recast would have done the trick. Or hey, a temporary coma. Send her off that way, let Lulu take the exit for a bit. But no, you had to go with killing her during transplant surgery. Really inspiring stuff, especially if the goal was to make people second-guess being organ donors. Now, Cody and Sasha? These two need to get their own DNA test done pronto, and maybe keep it quiet until the results roll in. Might be best for all involved. And as for Sasha, poor woman can't catch a break. The writers must have a rule about keeping her storyline in a constant state of despair. And then there's Lucas. How exactly are we supposed to buy into him operating on either of them without a giant moral or ethical cloud hanging over it? There's no way he could, or should, pull that off. Look, I know some people might hate me for saying this, but GH hasn't been this interesting in ages. I'm actually excited to see how this mess is going to unfold. But hey, while we're at it, maybe Lulu should be the one to go. Love the character, but she's been in a coma for, like, way too long. Let's move things along, shall we? And let's not forget, this is old news. Sam, Kelly Monaco, is out. Just like that, after 20 years. Really, GH? You let go of a classic talent like her? If you're that eager to trim the cast, I can think of a few other characters to consider first. But thanks YouTube for giving me the prompt to comment. Happy to share my thoughts. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Holly really should have stayed in Africa. She and Sidwell could have just ridden off into the sunset together. Now that would have been an ending. At least, Jason finally told Sonny about the diamonds and gave him the heads up that Holly can't be trusted. Better late than never. And don't even get me started on Sasha and Cody. They have real potential, yet here we are, watching their talent go to waste. At this rate, they might as well transfer to a different show where they can actually do something interesting. Did anyone else catch a glimpse of that engagement ring? I'm betting it's Cody planning to propose to Sasha. Who else would be popping the question? Also, quick note for the writers. Port Charles is in New York, and FYI, first cousins can get married and have kids there. Just saying. Then there was that scene with Sam getting wheeled into surgery. When she threw up the rock on sign with her hand, I completely lost it. It was such a Sam move, and you could feel what was coming. And let's be real, Sasha should be venting to the writers about her shredded happiness, but she's probably confronting Holly instead. One last thing. It's beyond messy that Lucas was allowed to perform Sam's surgery. It looks like he's even the one calling the time of death. I get that suddenly making Sam move away wouldn't be easy, but they could have at least sent her on a secret mission or something. Buckle up, everyone. The next few weeks are going to be brutal for both the characters and the viewers. I thought last week was supposed to be Sam's big farewell, and now Dante's proposing to her. I have questions. Honestly, if they could put as much effort into Cody and Sasha as they once did with Luke and Laura, GH would be unstoppable. Cody and Sasha could be the next big romance, with all the adventure and drama to match. Instead, we barely get anything before they split them up. Ridiculous. Writers, if you're listening, remember we're the loyal ones here, tuning in every day. Give us something worth watching. So Sam made it out of surgery, and it actually went smoothly. Interesting. But of course, there must be complications coming, because tomorrow Dante's proposing. They wouldn't let things stay that simple. Also, did Heather actually say, "I'll be back"? Because if she did, I'm putting my money on her showing up in no time. And then there's Cody, casually spilling the beans on Willow, Drew, and Nina. Goodbye, Drew's political career. He didn't even have a chance. And what's this crazy idea? What if Mac and Robert aren't actually biological brothers? Laura, of all people, agreed to let Heather see Ace before she leaves Port Charles. Fingers crossed she doesn't just snatch him up and run. Alright, so with Sasha and Cody potentially being cousins and Willow sneaking around with Drew, are the writers setting the stage for Sasha and Michael to find their way back to each other? I mean, with all the tension stirring up between Michael and Sasha around the same time, it sure feels like they're nudging things in that direction. Could just be me, but it's something to think about. And tell me I'm not alone in this. Does anyone actually like Portia? Believe me, I've tried, but she's just not clicking for me. Now, I know some people took issue with what they saw as a racial comment from Portia, and maybe my perspective can add a little context here. While Trina might be her main concern, let's face it, Heather Weber has never discriminated when it comes to her choice of victims. The sad reality is that Portia's worry stems from her belief that, based on past experiences, her daughter might not be treated with the same urgency by the system. For her, as a Black mother, it's about protecting her child in a world where, unfortunately, some of her fears are warranted. Sure, any parent could feel like the legal system isn't doing enough, but for Portia, it's more complicated. So while I'm definitely not on Team Portia, I get where she's coming from, and I didn't find her comments offensive. And then there's Heather. Do I think she's an ongoing threat? Nah, but she definitely belongs in jail. Her motive was clear, and it was all calculated to keep Esm out of trouble. Alright, gather round for today's lesson on paternity tests, folks. If a woman cheats on her husband with his brother, here's the deal. The test only gives one yes for the father. No, the test won't give two yes results because one happens to be the uncle. The guy who isn't the dad gets a big no. Take notes, GH writers. And where's Scotty Baldwin when we need him? His scenes with Heather always bring the comic relief we're missing lately. Oh, and did anyone else catch Molly's little chat with her dad? She goes on about her marriage falling apart, except, wait, they were never actually married. She outright rejected the whole idea. Come on, GH writers, a little fact-checking would go a long way. Speaking of weird moments, has anyone else noticed that something might have been going on with Steve and Kelly? I'm not saying that's why she was let go, but it's a little suspicious, right? Their super couple status was just dropped, with barely any scenes together when Steve came back. Just something that makes you wonder. Look, I don't actually want Sam to be killed off, but I'd rather that than have a replacement forced in. Kelly Monaco's been Sam for 20 years, and no replacement has ever been quite right. Call it nostalgia, call it age. I'm too attached to the character. And as for Cameron Matheson, not my favorite, sorry to say, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if he exited too. Just my take on things. So the minute everyone heard Kelly Monaco was leaving, wild theories started flying. First, the big rumor was that she'd meet her end in a scuba diving accident. Then, when she made her farewell gesture, people started freaking out. Now she's out of surgery, and the latest guess is Dante's going to propose. Maybe we can all just sit back and watch the show without trying to predict every twist and turn. How about we stick to what's actually happening instead of wasting time on endless guessing games? Now, let's talk Drew's blue-collar makeover, which our queen tried her best to pull off. But, well, it kind of backfired. We love her for trying, but Cody's little outburst and his brilliant move of assaulting a Navy SEAL? That's likely a turning point for him, though probably not in the best way. This disaster might just sink Drew's election hopes altogether. Guess we'll see how it all shakes out. And yeah, things are about to get real messy. Cody's job, Willow's marriage, and maybe Drew's teeth might all be on the line. Just saying. As for Michael, if he finds out about Drew and Willow and then goes running back to Sasha, That would be the most predictable, snooze-worthy storyline possible. Here's an idea. Keep Michael single and let him deal with the fact that the love of his life is now into his mom's ex. Maybe have him focus on his kids for a change and take ELQ back with Ned's help, kicking Drew out in the process. But whatever happens, let's avoid another rushed hookup with Sasha, who's supposed to be heartbroken over losing her love. Okay, hear me out. Sasha is actually Robert's daughter, and Holly meddled with Cody's DNA test to keep him from realizing he's Leopold Taub's son. Why? So he'd stop chasing after the Ice Princess necklace. Speaking of, where did that necklace even go? Last I saw, Britt had it stashed in a safe deposit box, and then nothing. Did it just disappear into the storyline abyss? Honestly, this whole setup might be the worst storyline yet. Getting rid of Sam was a terrible move. The ripple effect impacts way too many characters, and I'm not sure what GH is aiming for here, but it's not working. Every storyline is just off. Maybe it's time for GH to think about us longtime fans for a change. I'm ready to throw in the towel. Today I learned Jack Urbant, composer of Autumn Breeze, is actually credited alongside Dave and Jeff Koz for Faces of the Heart. So does this mean Faces of the Heart was specifically written for General Hospital and then later added to Dave Koz's album? I need to know more about how this whole collaboration came together. Turns out it was written especially for GH. I still remember the premiere of the theme. Yes, I'm that old. It was a big moment. Apparently, Koz blended part of Autumn Breeze into Faces of the Heart, which is why Jack Urbant is credited as a composer. Makes sense, but still so cool to learn the backstory on one of the most iconic TV themes. I get it, this probably isn't a popular take, but if Cody and Sasha are first cousins and they're in love, why should it matter as long as they don't have kids? Adoption's always an option. Plenty of kids need a loving home. And really, couldn't Cody and Sasha just get a genetic test to clear things up once and for all? Personally, I'm all for the idea that Robert and Mac aren't actually brothers. It's a perfect way to unravel this tangled storyline. Meanwhile, am I the only one glad Sam made it through surgery? Still, it seems like Dante's torn between Lulu and Sam. This proposal, if it's happening, might be less about true love and more about thanks for saving my life guilt. After all, you can't ignore that he might be thinking of Lulu now more than ever. And let's not forget the priceless expressions on Laura and Alexis's faces when Heather announced she was leaving permanently. Worth every second. Looks like GH is having some serious money issues. Maybe it's time for Frank and these writers to hit the road. The storylines are falling flat, case in point. What even happened with Jagger? That storyline was a total flop. And where did Finn and Violet go? The list of failed plotlines goes on and on. The writers have managed to mess up every story. GH has been around for decades, but it's like we're watching it slowly die. Drip, drip, drip. It's sad, honestly. I swear, I could write better stories. Not kidding. Now, everyone wants to blame Kelly for leaving because she wouldn't take a pay cut like the rest of the cast. Sure, it would have been nice if she'd stayed, and we might have even seen her and Jason together again, but instead, they decided to kill off Sam. Disappointing, to say the least. And don't get me started on the endless love triangles. Pairing up characters like Anna and Jason, or Sasha and Jason, is just exhausting. They need fresh characters. Eventually, everyone in Port Charles will have dated everyone else. It's getting ridiculous, and honestly, it's not exactly the best example for the younger viewers. There's only so much recycled romance even a soap can handle. Frank, if you're listening, I'm beyond disgusted, though I doubt you care. I actually stopped watching GH in August after you announced Kelly's firing and the plan to kill off Sam, my all-time favorite character. I've watched GH for nearly 25 years, started as a teen with my grandma and aunt, Back in the days of Frisco and those ambulance promos that had me running home from school to watch. Kelly Monaco has brought so much to this show. Adventure, love, action, even comedy when we needed it. Her departure is a huge loss for Love in the Afternoon, which is all but gone, replaced by one twisted storyline after another. You've broken the hearts of loyal fans and likely Kelly's as well. And let's not ignore those record-low ratings that have been tanking for 32 consecutive weeks. You're pushing longtime fans away. It's hard to see all these missed opportunities for compelling storylines just tossed aside. Both Sam and Lulu could have stayed, offering endless drama and adventure. But here we are, watching GH spiral down. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.